Okay, let me make sure okay. You guys can see me?
Hi, Leila.
Awesome. I can see Marcia and Mary. Hi, here. So this is going to be in both places, technical difficulties. I want to make sure that we are live everywhere we need to be before we get started. So here is this one. Awesome. All right. So
Your voice is pretty soft, Leila. I'm going to mute myself now, but I just wanted to let you know that.
okay. So yeah, if you guys can mute, that's awesome. Thank you guys. So I'm going to start recording. All right. Awesome. So, okay. So, hello. So we are now live on Zoom, which is our webinar, as well as on Facebook. So hopefully everybody on Zoom and Facebook can see me. Hello. This is Leila Mireskandari. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a permaculture designer, a kids gardening teacher and researcher with passion for kids grown food, as well as I'm also a school garden consultant and all that. And I've been doing this professionally since 2013, so it's been my job. And I recently started, let me get rid of this, and I recently started to share my expertise in a free 4-part workshop for parents and grandparents. And I will be going live after each one of these parts is released to recap the teachings and answer any of your questions. So if you guys have any questions about the videos, each one of the videos, then this would be an opportunity for every one of you to come on live and ask me any questions. And this is the first live video because I released video number 1 2 days ago, and this is going to be all about the teachings that we had in that video. So if you've not seen the announcements about the free workshop, Kids Grown Revolution free workshop, no worries. So the link is in the description of this live if you're watching it on Facebook, and I'm going to put it in the chat box right now. Good morning. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mercy. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the chat box of our, there you go. So for those of you who are on Zoom, it's in the chat box. For those of you who are on Facebook, it's going to be in the, it's in the description. And if you're watching this on replay, then it's going to be in the description if it's on YouTube or anywhere else. So that's how we're going to do it. So the link is there. You can go and join the workshop. It's all free, and I think you're going to love it. So the video 1 was already released. Video 2 will be released on Monday, and video 3 will be released during the next week. So we're going to have a video 4 and all of that. Okay, so and each one of them has a lot of learning for you to do, and it's all free. So go ahead and check it out. And let's get started about video 1. So let me tell you a story of one of my parent students, because I also have teacher students, because I teach teachers too, but that's a different story. This is all about parents and grandparents, this workshop. So this student of mine, her name was Simona. She enrolled in my 9-week spring program because her teenage son really had this dream of having a kids garden at home, having a garden at home. And she wanted to support him just like any good parent would want to do. But she was so afraid. I remember actually in one of our coaching calls, one-on-one calls, which was part of the class, she admitted to me that she woke up in the middle of the night, last night, worrying about the garden for no apparent reason. And she was like, I'm so nervous. What if this doesn't work out? But with all of those fears, she still said yes. And because she wanted to support her son to have his dream. And you had to see her ease and fascination about the results really quickly. Like in a matter of 2 months, her son, who was very much capable, as I told her from the very beginning, started to first of all, he started to take care of the entire garden, like from the very beginning, because this is what he really wanted. And in a matter of 2 months, he started harvesting food for breakfast with grandparents who were actually at that time living with them at the same time. And like the love and abundance in their kids' garden was so apparent, and they loved it. Or let me tell you also another student of mine. She wanted a garden for her young son because she was worried about him not eating healthy, not caring about vegetables and fruit. And because she was living in an urban area, she was really worried that there's not enough connection for her son with the natural world. And she was a very, very busy mom. So she actually essentially didn't have a lot of time to take him to, you know, field trips and those types of things, like to go to farms and things like that. It really take a lot of planning, and you have to spend a lot of time. And that's why she had this idea of, you know, growing it at home. But she was also frightened because she had never ever grown a thing in her life. And and she was like, what if it doesn't work out? What if my son doesn't do the work? What if like the food doesn't grow and we all are disappointed? And I've never done this before. Where should I put my garden? How do I do this? Blah, 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 right? And which are very normal for somebody who's never done it before. So, but again, she came over, you know, her fears, and said, let's go. And in a matter of few weeks, she witnessed her really young, like elementary age son taking care of an entire garden all by himself. And they started harvesting in a matter of less than 2 months. And they started putting the food into their diet, and she was so excited and happy. And they have actually repeated the process 2 times by now. So the reason I tell you these stories is because I want you to know that if you are not the only one who has these fears and these thoughts and these doubts. When I started my first kids garden at my own home 6-7 years ago, I was frightened. I had never ever touched soil before that. Trust me, in my entire life, I was a very, very busy working mom. I had a very demanding corporate job. And first, I thought that there's no way that I can fit this into my schedule, and you know, because I don't know how to do it. And it was difficult at the beginning because I had nobody to actually teach me and tell me what mistakes to avoid when you're growing with kids. Here's the thing: there are a lot of people who can tell you about gardening skills. Like they can tell you how to grow tomatoes, how to grow this, how to grow that. But gardening with kids is not about your skills. I mean, it is a little bit, and it is important to have the right tools and the right guidelines and all of that. But it's about combining those tools and guidelines with parenting, and it's so much about mindset. So in video 1, we defined what a kids garden is, which is important because we want to know what it is that we're talking about. So what it is a kids garden, as I define it, is a food garden that is entirely built, planted, maintained, and harvested by children, and only children entirely. Okay. So we also talked about the 3 types of parents: the who cares parents, the yes but parents, and the let's go parents. So the who cares parents are those types of people who really don't care about this. You know, they don't see the point at all in doing this. And we're not going to talk about them a lot here or in any other videos, simply because those are not people like you. Like those are people who are not attracted to my community anyway. So we don't have a lot of those people around us, in at least in my community. The yes but parents and the let's go parents are those that I really, really deeply care about, because these are people who are really caring and they're really concerned parents, those are who are fed up with the amount of technology and the screens that are around their kids, that's surrounding their kids, and it's dragging their kids deeper and deeper away from nature. Those who care so much about their kids eating healthy, and those who care a lot about their kids being connected to nature, spend more time outside, and have the benefit of all the good things that come with spending more time outside. So the difference though between the yes but parents and the let's go parents is this. And I really care about both of these types because I've been one of them at some point in time in my history myself. So the yes but parents are the ones that are convinced, or at least they're on the fence, and they really want to have a kids garden at home, but their mind is an expert in coming up with all kinds of excuses and reasons why they can't do it. But I can't do it because I don't know how to do it. I have never done it myself. Or it could be that what ifs, right? What if the garden does not grow and my kids get disappointed? What if the animals come and eat all the garden? I've heard this from so many parents, and it usually doesn't happen. So it's all in our heads, right? The myths that are surrounding the idea of growing our own food at home. What if I can't find the time to do it? This is going to need a lot of space. I don't have the space. I live in an apartment, for example. That's one thing that I hear a lot. There's no way I can do it in an apartment. Yes, you can. What if, my kids don't want to do the work and it all falls on my shoulders? What if this? What if that? I don't have enough time for this. So, one more thing. But in this climate, in my climate, nothing grows. I have seen so and so do it, and they worked so hard, and they had so many troubles, and so on and so on and so on, right? So, but the let's go parents, although they might have those types of fears, which is really normal, natural actually, they have those types of fears, but at some point they tell themselves, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make this happen. I'm going to get this done because I really want this for my children and they deserve it. I really care about both of these types of parents really deeply because I was one of them myself, and I know the struggle, and I truly want to help. And I am worried about the yes but parents because they struggle with the fact that they never ever even get started and on this dream that they have for their kids, and their kids really deserve it because of all the thoughts that come to them and the fears and all of that. And I'm also worried about the let's go parents, to be honest with you, because I was one of them myself and I made so many mistakes. Because if they don't have the right guidance, they could get trapped into what I call hope gardening, which is throwing their kids into an unplanned and undesigned adult garden, which usually doesn't really work very well with kids. And they could end up all really disappointed. And that will actually drag them back into the area of yes, but parents, now even worse, because now they have evidence of all those, negative experiences and those, excuses and reasons that why they can't do it, right? So that's why that's why what I do. I do what I do, essentially, to help those two types of parents, the yes but parents and the let's go parents, so the let's but parents to get over the initial hump, and the let's go parents to have the right tools and right guidelines to actually avoid the mistakes and have fast and empowering results with their children's gardens. So see, those students of mine that I told you about in the beginning of this live, those are the yes but parents, right? Sorry, so those are the let's go parents. They were the yes but parents, and they had all those fears, and at some point in time they said, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen. And despite all the fears, they courageously moved forward and actually made it happen. And it was proven to them that it could be a lot easier than you originally think. Now, did they have the right guidance? Yes, they did, because they hired me for it. So they did have the right guidance. But, and I'm not saying that that's not important. It is important. And I will be sharing practical tips in video 2 and video 3, actually, because I don't want to help the Yes But parents to get over the hump and become a Let's Go parent, and then don't have leave them there without any guidelines. So it's going to come. The practical skills, tips are going to come. But what I want you to notice is, if those students of mine were not Let's Go parents, they wouldn't even have found me, and they wouldn't have hired me, and they wouldn't have actually gotten the right types of guidelines and guides that I gave them. It's why? Because they would have been sitting in their homes with no kids garden, still coming up with all kinds of excuses and reasons why they couldn't do it. So in video number 1, after talking about the 3 types of parents, after defining what's a kids garden and talking about the 3 types of parents, then I gave clear 3-step process to set your mind to it and get yourself and your kids started, like 1, 2, 3, right? So step number 1 was mindset related. So in this step, we stop listening to the nagging, overprotective part of our minds, who is an expert in coming up with all kinds of excuses and reasons why we can't do this, and why our kids can't do this, and why our space is not good enough, and why we don't have enough time, blah, 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 right? So that's step number 1. Step number two was to go buy a bag of lentils. Yes, seriously, step 2 is to actually go and buy material, because nothing will put the nagging part of your mind, your brain, at ease better than actually making it happen, right? So, and the reason for step number 2 for buying those lentils, it has to do with step number 3, which is in that step, I ask you to go announce to your kids that they're going to be part of a fun and really interactive and awesome challenge. So these days, if you go on YouTube, kids are all over these challenges that's coming around. So this is a very good way to actually get them excited and engaged. Because in video 2, which is coming on Monday, part of this workshop, I will be sharing practical tips, as I told you, but also part of that video is my own kids successfully doing a challenge of growing food, and listen to this, growing food in less than 48 hours from seed. And then your kids are invited to do the challenge. So this will be a fun, exciting, for you and for your kids activity. And most importantly, it shows you that giving the gift of a kids garden or kids grown food to your children could be fun, and it could be achieved easier than you originally thought. This really is one of those things that is way easier done than said. Now, it's really, really easier than that said, if you have the right guidelines, obviously. So now video 1 came with a handout. You can go grab the handout underneath video 1, and you have the link. The link is on the chat box of Zoom. If you're watching on Zoom, it's in the description of Facebook Live if you're watching on live, and it's going to be, if you're watching on replay again, it's going to be in the description down below on YouTube. So go grab that link. I can also read you the link. It's kidsgrowingcity.ca/kids-grown-revolution-invitation. So, but go find the link or type it in and click on the button, type in your email address, and that will take you immediately to the workshop with video 1, and under that video there is that one pager, the handout that comes with video 1, and you can grab the handout which walks you through the 3 steps, number 1, number 2, number 3, and gets you to actually get ready for the challenge we're going to have in video 2, which is coming out on Monday. So to recap everything, in video 1, I told you the story of my successful people, successful students. I defined what a kids garden is so that we all know what it is that we're talking about. I defined the 3 parenting types, parenting garden types, essentially, and helped you identify which one of those types you are, and hopefully you're either a yes but parent or a let's go parent. And we discussed that adding a kids garden into your parental toolbox is a lot about mindset and parenting and not much about your gardening skills. Really, it's not much about it. It doesn't matter if you've never touched soil before, you can still do this for your children. Because as Ford said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. And it can't, this quote can't fit better with gardening with kids. It really can't fit better. It's all in our heads, essentially. Those fears and those excuses and those questions, they will prevent us from moving forward. And that's exactly right. We're never gonna get that done, right? So, and then I gave a 3-step instruction to go get over the hump and get yourself and your kids ready for a fun and exciting challenge that's going to come up in video 2. And in video 2, we will have some important tips discussed, very practical tips discussed. And also, we will have the kids grown food in less than 48 hours challenge, which is going to be fun and exciting. So go grab your one pager from below the link, below the video 1, and go get ready for the fun that we're going to have together in video 2, which will be released on Monday. So that's it for me, guys. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go, on our video on Facebook. And awesome. Oh, hello. Hi, Susan. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Elahe. Hi, Tina. Sorry, I was not looking at the Facebook page. Let me grab it and bring it here so that I don't turn my face away. Oh, okay. So, awesome. Yay, Tina. Hi, Tina. Thank you. Thank you for watching. All right. Awesome, guys. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, make sure that you put it down below, and I'll make sure that I go there and actually answer your questions. And that's it for this video. So there's going to be another video coming up, a live video coming up on, like, after video 2 is released, which is going to be on Tuesday. I am going to schedule it and I'm going to send a notification. But if you didn't see any of those announcements and notifications, just know that we are going to be doing the second live video on Tuesday about the same time at 12 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I see you soon in the next video. Mwah.